Hey, you may have started keto recently and you're coming up against some issues. Well, today we're going to discuss 5 of them and how to overcome them. Welcome to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle.
Today, we'll be talking about some of the issues that you may be facing when starting your keto journey.
Hey, if you are a new subscriber, we want to say welcome. If you're just coming across one of our videos for the first time, welcome to you as well. Have a look at some of our other videos. It's a bunch of recipes, and we've also got little chats where we talk about different tips and tricks which will help you on your keto journey. And also, hang around to the end because we have a new member to our family and we would love to introduce you to Hugo the pug.
So let's get into it. Some of the issues that you may be facing when starting your keto journey. Number 1, cravings. Your body is used to being a sugar burner.
Yeah, and you're probably used to having all those sorts of sweet treats and bad fats
and carbs.
Carbs, yes.
So we're talking your pastas, your breads, all of that.
Your chips and your crisps, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, rice. So when starting keto, pretty much all of that is off the menu. Yeah. So we found in our journey that there is a process where you do actually need to eliminate and then fully draw the line and say that's it. And I think at that point, you do start to feel withdrawals. You still have those cravings. The key to really succeeding through this phase of cravings is to really have a plan.
Yeah. And there are times when you can have treats, and there are like keto friendly treats that you can have, like there's brownies and pavlova and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But they are still sometimes foods.
So over time you will discover great replacements for the things that you were used to eating. So you were used to pasta. There are loads of ways to replace that. So if you're talking spaghetti, for example, you could have zoodles. If you're doing a lasagna as well, you can use cabbage instead of the pasta sheets.
You can also use cabbage if you want to replace fettuccine or something like that.
Yes, definitely. And can I be honest, it's actually better than you realize. And then there's rice. We all love rice. So you don't actually have to completely do away with having rice as such. Cauliflower rice. You can actually do broccoli rice as well if you like.
Yeah.
But so we have that with our Asian style dishes that we have as well. So that works perfectly. And then there's bread. Yes. Now, a lot of people say I cannot live without bread, but be encouraged, there are alternatives. And we actually just did a bread video recently, which we'll link to here, and it is absolutely amazing. We grill it, toast it.
It's just like bread.
Just like bread. You wouldn't really know the difference. There are certainly alternatives.
Okay, so the second one today is you may be feeling tired and lethargic.
This is something that we have heard a lot of people say, that they feel tired and lethargic.
And this is what is happening because your body is burning through its sugar stores. The glycogen in your blood is draining, and your body has to switch from sugar burning to fat burning. And there's a little bit of a lag while it does that. And that is your low energy state.
So there are ways to combat this. And one of the ways is making sure you do get enough sleep.
And it sounds simple, but it's so important. Like if you're not getting enough sleep, it's going to affect your decision making. Have you ever noticed that it's easy to have a healthy breakfast and then towards the end of the day you just don't care anymore and you'll just eat whatever? That is something that I went through, and I find I make much better food decisions when I've had a good sleep.
Another thing that really helped us in our early stages, when we were feeling this sort of lethargic tiredness feel, was make sure that we got our B vitamins. And one of the foods that really helped us was nutritional yeast. Now, we had never heard of nutritional yeast before our keto journey, but I tell you what, now we have it every single day. And I have to say, I do feel good. We feel good when we have that with our breakfast, and it really does have all of the B vitamins that covers the whole B vitamin group. So for us, that really did make a difference.
Number 3 is muscle cramps. Now this is one that I particularly suffered from earlier on. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with just massive cramps in my calf and a lot of twitching as well. And the answer to this lies in your electrolytes. So that's making sure you're having potassium, magnesium, bit of sodium.
Yep.
And you can find that either in like an electrolyte type drink. There are other supplements with it, but you can also find it in pink Himalayan salt. It's got a lot of good stuff in there. When we started, we replaced pretty much all of our salt use with the pink Himalayan salt, and it just helped us.
Fourth issue is not knowing what to cook. Now this can be a little bit of a tricky one, and this is something that you will have to ease into, and you grow into it. It's not going to be an instant thing.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to know straight away what meals to cook, but also you're probably used to having convenience, getting something takeaway. So a lot of those options do reduce quite dramatically when you're on keto.
And there are a lot of different ingredients that you use when you're cooking keto and low carb, which you might not be used to, and you probably won't have in your cupboard. I mean, you might, but there is a big change in what you're going to be using to cook with as well.
As we already talked about, one of the first key things to learn is what are your swaps? What are your substitutes?
Yep.
The next thing is just getting used to working with your new ingredients. And initially, when you kind of look at the list, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of ingredients, but you would actually be surprised at how much variety that you can make from breakfast, lunch, and dinner, depending on what meals you're having. There is loads of options. Just a few quick examples for breakfast. I mean, obviously there's eggs. We use clean bacon, so nitrate-free bacon. There's loads of greens that you can have. There's chia seed pudding, and there's bagels that you can also make using a fathead dough, which you can put cream cheese and smoked salmon. That's just to name a few.
Even granola. We've got a recipe for granola, but people have granola and yogurt for breakfast. Good stuff.
By the way, if you're getting yogurt, just making sure that you are getting full fat, but as little sugar as possible. Another one is also kefir. I haven't really had it that much, but I've only just started having it recently, and I actually really love it as well. So there are so many options.
And then when it comes to things like lunch, you can pull out the bagels again. You can do a green smoothie. You could do protein and salad, so like fish or chicken, some good oily fish like salmon or mackerel. And nuts. Nuts are good for you as well. Good oily nuts like Brazil nuts and that sort of thing. Lots of omega-3s, good for you. And there's plenty of dinners as well. And half of these dinners you could have actually had for lunch anyway. There's things like bunless burgers, and you got your zoodles that we talked about before.
Lasagna, again, like we talked about before. There's stir fries, warm chicken salad. There's, depending on the season, you might, in winter you might love your stews. There's pizza that you can do with either a fathead dough base or a cauliflower base,
or even a chicken base.
Yes,
that's my favorite.
And some of your traditional meals like your roast dinners, barbecues, things like that, or
even soups.
There's so many options with that. Once you've got your stock, you can really just do whatever you want. So as you can see, there really are so many options. We've only just named a few here, but with a diet, typical kind of, when you think a short-term diet potentially where you're wanting to lose weight, I think we come with a typical mindset of you have to deprive yourself of food, especially food that you enjoy. What we love about keto and what we find really sustainable is that we actually do get to enjoy good food, good quality food. We know that we're giving our body what it needs, but it's not about having to, we can't have that, we can't have that. We can replace and still enjoy what we're having. So we can still feel like we're really enjoying what we're eating, and we don't have that feeling at all that we're missing out.
And if you are still having trouble with finding something to cook, there are heaps of recipes online. There are heaps of good cookbooks, and there are even places online where you can buy eating plans and that sort of thing. There is heaps of resource out there. And the fifth issue that we're going to talk about today is not losing weight straight away. Now, everyone's bodies are just a little bit different, and some of them will take longer to kick over to ketosis than others, but trust the process. There's so many people who have done this and it's worked for them.
You have probably seen pictures of those big transformation stories where someone has gone from really overweight to really skinny, and at the same, you had a big
overweight.
You had a huge transformation, and that did happen relatively quickly, but for some people it might not be that quick. It's about playing the long game, and with a keto and low carb lifestyle, it is a lifestyle change. It really is. It's not a short term, because if you're treating this as a short term, there's a good chance you'll put it all back on, and maybe even more. So it's really important to understand it really is a lifestyle. And there is a quote by someone that we follow and do a lot of learning from. His name's Dr. Berg.
We mentioned him in the resource video that we did a few weeks back.
Yeah. And he's been, like for a lot of people, he's been amazing in helping us on this journey, really.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said, and this really stuck with us, it really resonated with us, it is you are getting healthy to lose weight, not losing weight to get healthy. So it's really having that mindset of getting healthy. So we're putting the really good quality foods in us. We're getting rid of the sugars, the refined carbs, the bad oils and fats, and we're getting rid of inflammation. So now we're putting the good stuff in. As a result, as the body repairs, you will be healthier and you will see results.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is that change is hard, and you're going to start this by making small changes to your diet, and you'll find that some things work for you, some things don't, and you'll tweak it, and you'll learn about yourself, and you'll tweak it again, and you'll keep improving as you go. I know I had days that I stuffed up royally, but you just get back on it. But you know when you can start eating keto again? Right then. You can start at your next meal to be back on the keto diet.
Yeah, so just remember that a keto diet or a keto lifestyle is not a short-term diet. You really need to think of it as a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
So play the long game.
So we hope that's been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments or anything that you're struggling with that we haven't addressed, why not pop it down in the comments and we'll have a look at that for you. Get back to you as soon as we can. And as promised, we were going to show you Hugo the pug.
Yay!
We picked him up a few weeks ago now, and he's obviously not a puppy. He's a bit of a grown-up dog.
For most of us, it's actually our first time having a pet, so it has again been another little bit of a lifestyle change, but he's been so good, and he's just, you know, brought lots of laughs, and he's a good boy.
So thanks for watching. It's been great having you along for today's video. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and if you think this video would be helpful someone, feel free to share it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever your preferred platform is. So that's it. We hope you're healthy, we hope you're happy, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Bye! Bye!